What's up and welcome to the Indie Credible Podcast, episode 33, a weekly podcast where we get together and chat about the world of indie gaming. We go through the latest indie game news, what we've been playing, and we normally have a main topic, but the main topic today is another treat for you guys. We've done it last month and we're going to do it again this month, and it's a developer interview. This week we are talking to the developers of The Station. I can't tell you their name because they haven't got a development name yet because it's their first game, they're new together and they're waiting for the right name to just sit well for them. The guy I spoke to is Kevin Harwood, and Kevin Harwood, I'm going to say right now, is an absolute legend. He had a Han Solo cut out behind him. It was just an absolute boy.
Oh my god, did you get the Wookiee out when you were talking to him? Like, look!
I didn't.
Was it a little bromance?
He was just cool. He was really cool.
Was there music playing in his play?
Lewis called me last night.
I did call, yeah.
And he was just like, he's just so cool. He's a really cool guy. And I was like, all right.
I didn't call him just to say that. I called you
That's what it felt like. That's what I even talked about that whole
I called
time.
Tom because I just spoke about The Station, and I know Tom had a code for The Station. We'll see if he played it to talk about the game. But yeah, no. Kev was a really cool guy, and he was very.
Kev.
What I loved was
Kev.
he was.
All right,
We're on to Kev now, are we? Good old Kev.
Jesus Christ! I'm getting so much stick already. He was so. You know, when someone's so passionate about what they do.
Yeah.
He was clearly
A lot of
like
passion.
Oh my god! Dicks. All
Can't
right.
wait to have a look at this interview.
Yeah, cool, brilliant. Well, you can see it later on. It's going to be.
Look how red you are, man!
God, you guys.
That's how you know it's true.
I don't know what's going on. It's hot in here, right?
Oh, is it? You like?
Yeah.
And that's what he said.
God. Anyway, this is the Indie Credible Podcast where we get together and chat about indie games. And as always, we start off with what we've been playing. Before we go there, though, I'm going to tell people where they can find us.
Oh,
Tom,
Hey.
did you know we can find us on YouTube?
No, what?
Because if they're watching the video now, that's where they probably are.
Holy shit.
Because unfortunately,
Tom's never used YouTube.
no, he hasn't.
YouTube.com, you
Yeah,
say?
YouTube.com/Indie Credible.
Whoa, slow down.
I know. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Indie Credible if you want to get the video version of it.
For some reason.
The interview today is going to be, there's both video and audio available. I will give a slight warning. There is one point in the interview where it cuts and doesn't cut out. It kind of glitches for like 0.5 of a second halfway through. He was in Canada, we were over here, internet issue just kind of out of nowhere. When black screen come back, you won't miss anything, but I'll give you that warning there. Or you can find us on podcast services. iTunes, we're on Player FM, we're on SoundCloud. Pretty much available everywhere, download, or you can listen to us on the go by streaming us. Or if you really, really, really like what we do and you want additional bonus content and you want to hear all of today about Tom's... I was trying to think of something clever to say around Lord of the Rings, but anyway, Tom watching Lord of the Rings. It's the best bit.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was cutting.
that does not sound like it's
Hope
worth...
you feel owned.
Oh, I don't know.
That does not sound like it's worth $1, does it? But anyway, if you do want to... If you do want to pay $1,
Not even a measly dollar.
if you do want to pay $1 and get extra content, and you get every Indie Credible podcast, you get bonus pre and post show content. Last week was 32 minutes of extra content.
Lewis just wouldn't shut up.
We spoke about Cloverfield Paradox, we spoke about Altered Carbon, we spoke about loads of stuff. We had a really good conversation.
Blasted through it.
We didn't have some dickhead over here next to us, did we? So we could still...
Yeah, what's his name over
Yeah,
there?
that's why you ended on paedophilia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that way, that's all Lewis.
Anyway.
I'd like to clarify that's all Lewis, so...
Anyway,
me and Dan are...
let's get in to let's get in. I was about to say to the meat of the conversation.
Yeah, let's not do that right now.
That sounds really bad following on from what we just said.
Oh, God.
Let's get into the thick of it. What have you been playing this week? Who wants to start off with what they've played
I think I
this
should
week?
go last.
Okay.
Okay.
But, well, I mean, you know I've played.
Well, basically, so I wasn't here last week. I was ill. But these guys were on at me going, Dan, you've got to play Crossing Souls.
Yeah.
So
that was-
I jumped
that
on
was
and I played
Tom that
Crossing
said that,
Souls.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the demo. So you played the demo.
And only the demo, haven't got the game.
I've also only played
So,
demo.
so where did the demo finish? Because I played about an hour of the demo, but I didn't finish the demo.
I haven't finished the demo yet.
But I played the... Because obviously I've played the game. So where's it finish?
Wait, how far are you?
It doesn't matter, go for it.
Okay.
Because it's a demo, I'm going to buy the game.
When you find the dead body.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just a little
So
bit
it
after that. Yeah.
Oh, what, Stand By Me style?
Oh, so it doesn't
Literally,
even,
yeah,
so it doesn't
love
even
it.
get into really what the game's about.
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
But
cool.
it gives you like a little scene with the bad guy, and he's
Yeah.
like, go after them kids.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what thing you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a classic 80s super action hero, heartless guy.
He's proper oak, like, it's
He's like,
ridiculous.
his
Yeah.
massive
He's
blonde
like
hair. Arnie. He's basically an Arnie figure. And he's called Heartless. It's just so cool. Cool, but anyway, you played a demo.
So I played demo of that. That was fun.
It's good shit,
Yep.
innit?
Yeah. Yeah, especially as an 80s kid. I just sit there going all the way through going, oh, I remember that, seen that movie, know that reference.
I was saying to Lewis before the podcast, I kept forgetting to talk to you guys about the animated segments.
That's so nice.
They're great.
That's so nice.
I love them.
It reminds me very much of...
Say it, go on.
What's that point-and-click adventure I played?
Oh, damn it.
I did the review of...
The Little Acre.
Little Acre.
I was going to say it reminds me of Space Ace, but like a less polished.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Or the other one. There's another one by the same guy.
But, I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a nice mix of 80s nostalgia with a solid game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've played 7 hours of it.
Of the demo. I haven't played the whole thing. The rest of it.
And my biggest concern was after playing I played about 3 hours at once at the beginning and absolutely loved it. Went on Twitter and put out I've played 3 hours of the game, really enjoyed it. A couple of people come back to me saying oh yeah, we really wanted to enjoy it, but it didn't quite stick with us and things like that. And I was like, oh no, please don't tell me the charm wears off, because I was, I was so up on a game, but I had so much work to do, I couldn't keep playing it.
Yeah.
So then I went back to it thinking, oh please, please, please. I'm now 7 hours in. I think I've not read many reviews because I want to keep it complete spoiler free for my time of the game. But from what I can guess with the story and how much I've unlocked, I'd say I'm about an hour from the end. And I can't see why people aren't liking it.
As I said to you before this, I can.
Because
if you're not getting the jokes,
and there are
if you're not getting the inside bits,
Yeah.
then it's just I'm wandering through a town and weird shit's happening.
I gotta say though, if you're not getting at least half the jokes, then are you living under a rock?
Yeah.
Are you living under a rock?
Because honestly, some of them are just...
They're so blatant.
The first one I saw was a Toy Story one. That's not even an 80s reference.
Yeah.
It's a Toy Story reference. Who's not seen Toy Story?
Yeah.
There's a really great bit at the start of the demo where you go into... I went into the arcade. Instead of going to the guy, I went to the arcade and I fixed the machine.
Yeah.
And then I went around and there's actually a machine at the back that's covered up. And it's a Tron Legacy reference. So they're referencing Tron.
Notice it.
But they're also referencing Tron Legacy. And
It's a far superior film.
Yeah, let's move on from that. So
that's why he's only allowed one bit. I did like Tron Legacy, by the way. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, Legacy's great.
I thought Legacy, and they should make another
Tron
one.
is also great, but aged horribly.
Yes.
Yeah. It has aged horribly.
I can't deny that one, but I still love it. That is why I am Sock.
Dan, what else you played?
You got what?
Yeah, if you find me on Facebook, I'm Sock Tronington. I'm named after the bad guy from Tron.
I didn't even know that. No.
What else you played, mate?
A game I will be able to talk about next week.
Oh.
At the end of next week, it'll be good.
Of course.
Which has been like pulling teeth.
Yeah, I know you've been up and down on that. Yeah, we can't say what it is.
I'm not
I can't say what it is.
I know you've already told me, but I've forgotten already.
It's one of these games that should be great, but isn't.
The idea is
good.
better. The idea is there. The delivery's not.
No.
Well, I think you've played more than me now, but my personal experience of it is that 2 or 3 very bizarre decisions really bring down the whole game.
In the end, it's only one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because some of them make sense later on, and you're like, "Oh, I get it now."
Okay.
Especially once you start changing.
Yeah.
Things that I can't say till later. You just wait.
But next week you can definitely talk about it.
Next week I can definitely talk about it. And what else? I've been playing Smite.
Cool. I had a game with you today on Smite.
Yes.
Oh, Smite.
You need to get on Smite.
Yeah, it's good fun.
You need to get on, and it's an indie game.
What have you been playing, Lewis?
Smite as well. It's an indie game.
So I have played. I've played Cross and Souls. That's the main game I played this week. I'm not going to speak loads about it because Dan has covered up most of it. But I mean, just some of the references I found that I noted them down because there was just too many. But my favourite ones. There's a Close Encounters reference, which is just I was speaking to someone else on Twitter earlier in the week, and they didn't get it was a Close Encounters reference. I was like, how do you not get that's a Close Encounters reference?
Is it very obvious?
But that's what.
No, so it's a boss thing, and without going to spoilers. It's like, you know, when a boss gives you people give you a pattern in a game, and you have to remember that melody pattern.
Yeah.
You have to do that to unlock certain parts of me, and there's these lights, but then the notes are all in that some kind of. Dun, dun,
It's not exactly the same.
Yeah, but
for
it's
copyright reasons.
clearly a reference.
But that's what I mean about Crossing Souls and people not getting it. There are people there who aren't going to get these.
Huge. I mean, the whole game is pretty much inspired by Ghostbusters. Like that is the main actual game. The concept of the game is pretty much inspired by Ghostbusters 2, and I won't say any more on that because I don't want to go into it.
So there's some sort of slime that if you play some Uptown Funk,
I can't.
then you
I'm not
get
going
happy
to say.
slime.
I'm not going to say.
But if you play Tina Turner, oh no.
One game I
One
played.
man enters.
What?
2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Nearly got that wrong. I covered it up.
I played.
I was thinking, where are you going to go?
1 man enters. 1 man enters.
Half a
2
man
men
leaves.
I played a game that now I have to disclose that this released on. So Owlboy released on PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch this week. I played it for the first time this week on PC, which it released on last November. But I played it on PC because I got sent through Humble Bundles. They sent me a code a little while ago and all that. So I played Owlboy, and Dan will tell you that just looking at that on paper, it's a game that I'm going to be like, oh my god, I'm going to absolutely love this game. And I played some more this morning, so I'm about 4.5, 5 hours into it, and the game is just meh. It is literally meh. It is probably one of the prettiest meh ever, but that's about it. It's just
Wow.
I feel this week, right? I really
Scathing
feel
words.
like I've managed to corrupt Lewis, right? Because at the start of the week you were playing Newt 1, and if you watch his
I
thing,
did play Newt 1.
he hates it. He hates it. He's like, this is just rubbish. What am I doing? I'm like, you
Did you
sound
see the video?
very much like me, mate.
Did you see the
And
video?
then now
I'm
he's like,
so-
Owlboy, meh.
I did
I'm
play
like,
Newt.
yes, I've destroyed his
Your
soul.
darkness has infected him.
I did
Thank you
play
very
Newt
much.
1. Thank you for reminding me that. That's how much of an impact it had on me. Fucking hell. I mean, Newt 1 is for someone.
It's for someone.
I have no idea. I don't know who it's for. There's a preview. Just go watch. Skip to like 6 minutes in.
And then watch him just collapse.
I'm still kind of enthusiastic around that point. Watch 5 minutes of it, and you'll understand what the game is. If you go past about 15 minutes, it will sound like I want to pull teeth out. But yeah. Anyway, Owlboy is it's genuinely stunning. But the story is just as generic as they come. The world, it's as generic as they come in terms of pixel art. The mechanics, the gameplay mechanics, the controls feel awkward half the time. Like you have to. So the main story follows Otis, this mute Owlboy who can't talk, hence mute, and he's got a friend. I can't even remember the friend's name. But the main gameplay mechanic is you have fewer friends that come along with you. But Otis can pick people up and fly around being an owl.
Yep.
And then his main friend can shoot these little things. And the fights, the levels all evolve around that. You kind of have to pick things up, move them around, or you have to carry him through and he has to shoot a wall, but his bullets can't destroy stone, but Otis can destroy stone. So there's all these kind of... The layering of the puzzles is good.
Right.
The execution of them is just boring. And then the boss fights you get to are so bloody easy. The only times they come hard is when the controls don't work. When I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and you end up throwing your character across the screen. I'm like, why are you throwing him? I was aiming where I want to shoot. Like, this is stupid. I don't understand how people are loving it so much. I can understand, because it's not a bad game in terms of there's nothing wrong with it. It's not flawed. It's just the same as in almost any other pixel adventure game I've played.
So you think it's good to people who don't play a lot of games like this?
If someone was to... So I've not played it on the Switch, but if someone, wanted... Because it's apparently quite meaty. I've heard it's like a 15, 16-hour game.
Right.
So if someone was like, I really want a charming, nostalgic pixel adventure game, then I'd probably say, pick it up, because it's like, when you're ill and you eat soup because it's comfort food. It's like that. Like, is soup the
How
best...
would you describe Owlboy? It's like that really shitty soup you have when you're ill.
But soup's not the most... your favourite food in the world, but when you're not feeling great, it's comfot food, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what this is.
Kebab for me, but
You're not...
You have a kebab when you're ill.
Oh, I like kebab when I breathe.
So that's
he does.
That's Owlboy. If you've played Owlboy, I'd be really interested in what people think. Let us know in the comments below, because I really want to be upbeat on it. And if someone comes back to me and says, "Get 8 hours in," and it's amazing. I know it's a long way in, but I'll be like, "Okay, cool, I'll stick with it." But
seems like a bit much.
The fact that
I've got to play 8 hours into a game
I'm
before
normally-
it gets good. I'll
I'm-
do that for Final
That's too
Fantasy,
much,
but
yeah.
other games, no.
The fact that you're giving this quite a harsh review here means that it must be complete dog shit.
Can you imagine what I would be saying?
You'd be flipping the table, you know?
It just doesn't do anything new, and it's getting to the point now. And I said this to Kevin last night in the interview actually, that we were talking afterwards about gaming, and he was like, you guys must play loads of games all the time just to kind of keep up to date and talk about things. And I was like, yeah, I played quite a few. And this is the thing, like the thing is, when you do play so many games, they all start blending together. And
Well, it's the argument I had with you at the start of the year. You were there, Lewis was going to me, oh, Dan, we've got all these great games coming out. And I was like, no, I haven't seen one yet that, really gets me going.
I'm still not
And
that
he was
point,
like,
but yeah.
he was like, oh, but look, we've got this, this and this. And it's like, yeah, I've played that.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, no, you haven't played that. I've played, and it's like I've played a game like it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for something new. Like last year when we had the Metronomicons, we had Sexy Brutal, and we had things. They were all very much within a classic style. Yes, I played it before, but they did little things new, and that's what I'm looking forward to. That's why EGX Res is going to.
That's exactly the same. That's exactly the same
Diving
as.
straight into left field, I can feel it.
That is exactly the same.
Well, already
as,
he's been in touch today
oh
with
my
one
God.
game, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to play that. It's just a rhythm game.
I've been told of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called again? Double Kick
Heroes.
Double Kick Heroes.
I've got the demo downloaded if you want to try it.
Yeah, I'm going to try it in a bit, but I saw that and was like, yeah, that's me happy for a little bit.
Just the line that says 3 things save the world: sex, drugs, and metal. And I was
Yeah,
like,
and I was like, that's me. Done.
Tailor-made for Dan.
Yeah, apart from the drugs, way too old now. I just fall asleep in a corner.
But other than Newt 1, that's all that needs to be said on Newt 1. Other than Newt 1, a game that I've played that can. I mean, I've been excited for this game for a while. Dan knows that, and I think I've been excited for this game for a while. I didn't really know. We were very apprehensive going into it. I didn't even know what the game was. And then finally, out of nowhere, they went, there's a demo available on Steam, and that's Past Cure. Yep. So I sat down, played the demo, streamed it on Wednesday. Fuck me, that game is terrifying. It is, and I said this to Dan, as soon as I finished it, I felt so reminiscent of original Silent Hill.
Okay.
But it was so atmospheric. I didn't know the demo doesn't do a very good job, but it doesn't do a very good job. It doesn't tell you whether you're in a nightmare or reality, because the whole game is based around nightmare versus reality. I can assume from the demo you're based in a nightmare. And also the demo...
Or are you?
Well, that's it. Also, the demo does not a weird thing, and I emailed this to developers. One of the selling points that they're going for the game and their marketing push is that you've got these unique, not supernatural, kind of supernatural abilities, what they're called, telekinetic, thank you. Telekinetic abilities.
I thought that, but no, it's psych, so...
Yeah. You just got to go left, mate.
Yeah.
Whenever you think, and I just point to the right.
Apart from one point in the demo, you don't ever get to try them out in a gameplay mechanic. So 40 minutes, you don't actually get to use them. I'd like to actually see what they're like. And there is no combat in the demo. It's very puzzle orientated. But the puzzles all feel, my favourite word at the moment, organic. As in they feel like they have a purpose and place in what you're doing. And to the point where I was having to make notes. And I love making notes in games. To be like, God, making notes.
Good shit. I hate when you make a note and then you realise the game has remembered it for you anyway. Yeah. And you're like, I lost the point.
Damn you, son of a
don't need it.
I spent ages writing that down.
But no, it's Past Cure demo. It's available now on Steam. The game is releasing on the 23rd of February. We're going to have a review up. We should be getting copies around this week.
Copies?
Possibly. Copies maybe. This week from Phantom 8. And I cannot wait to see more of that game. I really can't. They've already come out and said it's like an 8-hour... play through once adventure game. That's what they went for. They didn't go for replayability. They didn't go for all this glamorous stuff.
Nothing wrong with that.
They wanted to go story driven, focused, 8 hours, have fun, have brilliant time, done.
As long as it's good, that's fine.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So Tom, I know what you've been playing, but do you want to share with people what you've been playing? Because it links into the show.
I managed to play this week was The Station.
Hey!
On PS4.
PS4.
Because you played it on PC.
And I will say, as I found out quickly, because your biggest gripe was there were some performance issues.
Very much so.
But as I found out through the interview, it's not actually in the interview, it was found out before the interview, there is a day one patch coming. Because I played on PC, and it ran absolutely smooth.
Exactly. So. Disclaimer to that, obviously, when I complain about stuff, the game isn't going to be that way.
No.
We hope.
Well, also, because we can talk about this now, because the embargo drops on Monday, and I'm going to make sure the podcast goes live after the embargo.
Yeah,
so
so
you can say what you want about the game
obviously
now.
spoiler free, but I'm going to talk about the game. It's pretty bloody cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good story.
I think Dan needs to play it because it's short.
Yeah, but the reason he hates Gone Home is it's too short.
No, he doesn't like Gone Home.
30 minutes to finish that fucking game,
Yeah,
and then when I played it fast, it was less than a minute.
You can't do this in 30 minutes.
Like an hour.
Is that because they walk at the same pace as a
There's a run
dead
button.
squirrel?
There's a run button.
There's a run button.
Hold R2 to sprint. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Finally,
Yeah.
devs who understand that when you're in a situation, you might run.
Buckle in while he goes on.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Talk about the game.
It's very very cool, atmospheric,
Very atmospheric.
sci-fi walking sim. As much as
Narrative adventure.
I hate saying that now.
Narrative adventure.
Yeah.
It's not narrative adventure. Adventure sounds like fun.
Interactive
It's a
story.
narrative walking sim.
I think Dan will like this one.
I think so. But the thing is, I think Dan will like Tacoma, but he won't give it a go.
I'll try any game.
Tacoma
I will try any game.
Yeah, but Tacoma is substantially
But I will also tell you
longer.
if it's shit.
Oh yeah, Tacoma's a lot longer.
Tacoma is a lot longer.
And
This is
I have no problem with
Tacoma-
length of game. What I have a
Tacoma's-
problem with is walking sims that make you walk at the same pace as my grandma, and she's fucking dead.
Well, you don't really. Well, it's fine.
I don't really walk at the same pace as my grandma. You're very
No,
true,
no.
because she is actually dead. That wasn't a lie. She's in the ground.
Yeah.
Both of them, in fact, in the ground. Still walking faster than you do in a walking sim.
Okay.
Anyway,
so the station's good,
yeah.
and I liked it.
Yeah, what I loved about it, because we're not going to go into spoilers too much.
That's the thing. I don't want to say.
What I really liked about it, and I
spoil it,
said this to you in the car, and I said this on the interview later on with Kevin, that similar to before Dan shoots down Gone Home, but what Gone Home did play to its strength was if you went into that game not knowing anything, the moment you went in the house, you had the question: am I playing a horror game? Am I playing a thriller game? What is this game? Because it was dark and atmospheric and eerie. And the station does that. The moment you go in there, because the first time I played it, I walked forward and then something happens, and I'm like, okay, do I not play this at night in the dark? Because this looks like this could be a genuine horror game, and I don't really want to play that now. In an isolated space station, where you're going up there to investigate, all you know is there's aliens involved, and it's gone radio silent. You're thinking, I might just wait until daytime to play this game, because this is getting really eerie, and the sound design I think is fucking awesome. I know you had some issues
It's great.
with it.
I had a few sound glitches, like occasionally the sound would just be like, "Bing," and it would just like for like 2 seconds,
Right.
and I'd be like, and that was annoying. And I had frame rate issues while I was playing as well. But supposedly this will all be gone
It's
on
day one
release.
patch, yeah.
So it's just me that has to suffer this.
Because the game's actually, as I said to you, I don't want to ruin much of the interview, but the game's been ready since July last year.
Yes.
For PC.
Yeah.
They were originally going to release on July last year, PC, and then consoles this year. But Tacoma, out of nowhere, went, our game's coming out in July. Or
So they went,
and they went, well, wait a
yeah.
minute, Fulbright have got a reputation of these games.
Yeah.
And then they went, well, as he said last night, no indie dev ever releases a game in the fall if you want it to be successful. So they went to the new year and they thought, let's do a simultaneous release where we put all that together.
But then again, good on them for realising that.
Yeah.
So many devs have gone, oh, well, no, we've decided this is it and gone for it. They've actually stood back and gone,
They
This
haven't
is-
finished games
it is
for
a
like
short-
a year. And
Yeah.
it's like,
It is a
holding
short
it
game.
on.
I want to highlight that. It is an hour and 20 minute game. So
Yeah.
some people I know go, oh, I've just paid. I don't actually know what the price. I think it's gonna be $10.99. I think that's the price of it. But let's say the most indie games go $15.99 on PlayStation. Some people pay 16 quid and go, oh, it is a case of I've played through it twice. I'm currently on my third playthrough because there are so many things that. So like on my second playthrough, I found a whole new room that you can't find. Well, you could find the first one, but you have to unlock all these other little codes to find it. And that room had a really kind of like more answered more questions to what I had when I finished the game the first time.
Now that I've finished it, obviously the story was a complete story, and it ended, and I was like, oh great, that was great. But I knew there was stuff in the game that I had yet to figure out.
Right.
So I am, when the patch comes, I'm going to go back and play it,
And you could run to those things.
and I will run to those things, Dan. That's exactly.
It's not much to ask, guys.
Do you want
Not
to know
much
the
to
first
ask.
thing that spooked me in the game? And it just
Was
shows
it the run button? You
shows
thought,
how much
fucking
of a-
hell,
of a
this is a
pansy I
well-developed
am.
game.
Come on, Dan.
Is it in the first room when you walk?
Literally the first room,
is it the first
it's not
cut?
what you think it is.
Is it a
Is
dancing
it the first
flower?
cut where you not when you? I don't want to say anything. Is it so you walk forward and then there's a big creak and it like shakes?
No. I'm even more of Pans in that.
The door.
Is it the door opening? Was it the
But
fact...
I will say this, doors are way too loud. Alright?
No, they are.
You walk past the
They
door
are.
like,
They are really
walk around.
but that's what I mean. So do you put the headphones on?
I didn't know.
So I played it with headphones on, and one thing I will say, and I said this in the interview, was almost the echo that created as if you're on a isolated space station was even scarier. Like
I was carrying a tank around, and I accidentally knocked it into a thing and went ding, and I was like, ah! I was like, what was that? And I was like, oh, it's my can that I'm carrying. But the thing that I was like, gave me the heebie-jeebies when I started the game is in the very first room, this is not a spoiler, to open the door to go through the rest of the thing, you have to turn the power off.
Yeah.
And literally, just turn the lights off. And I was like, oh no. I was like,
It's going to be one of those games I'm going to play at the dark.
That was the moment when I questioned. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a scary game."
There was, I don't know, maybe it was something to do with the sound design and the fact the lights went off and everything. I was like, shit.
Yeah.
I knew something was going to go wrong, you know.
Yeah, but no, like I said, Station. I can't say. Well, at the moment, if the guys who develop it are going under the name The Station on Twitter. But no, it's. I really enjoyed it. If you like that kind of walking sim, whatever you want to call it, interactive story, narrative
Walking
adventure.
sim with a run button.
How you want to
Or
call
it
it?
sounds like a running sim. Fuck, that's not why I got into gaming.
If you like the idea of that, then I really do recommend. Would you recommend it to most people?
Yeah, I'd recommend it,
Yeah,
definitely,
it's a good story.
I don't know how much it's going to be
Lots
when
of
it comes
sequels.
out.
Yeah, I don't know. The most it's going to
Assuming
be.
it's a fair price.
The most it's going to be is £16.
Well, it could definitely be overpriced this game because content's great, but it is quite short.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
that's
Cool.
all right.
Right, should we go on to some news?
Let's do it.
Let's do
Let's
some
do
news.
the news.
Is that what you played this week?
Yeah.
The Station?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Look. Okay. I've had a busy week. It's been Valentine's Day. I watched Lord of the Rings.
I was fucking done at that point. Okay, good for you, mate.
My Valentine's Day, I was up here streaming.
Well, I love my girlfriend, so I spend time with her.
She needs.
If you're not saying you love your girlfriend, whoever, at every other point during the year, and you wait to that one day,
Yeah,
then
I'm
you need to
concerned.
question your relationship.
Look, I'm very aware that
Can I
Valentine's
say-
Day is a capitalist nightmare.
Yeah.
But girls like it. I'm
Do you want to
sorry.
hear? Well,
My wife doesn't do
My
it.
wife doesn't like it.
I wish mine didn't.
Do you want to hear my how genius I was on Valentine's Day quickly?
Here we go. Here we go.
It's
So-
not gonna be
Whatever
genius.
Lewis defines as genius, I want
So
to hear.
Sarah said, "Oh, okay, we're trying to cut back and save them some money and all that."
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. Basically, I didn't get her a card because we don't do
Good
cards.
start.
I heard about
Yeah,
this.
we
Good
actually.
start.
I heard about this from my wife.
We-
Of course, our wives are friends.
We have been together for 6 years now. Okay,
Yeah.
but this is our second Valentine's Day after being married. The first card I ever got from Sarah and I gave to Sarah was last year because we had an agreement. It's our first one married. We do to my wife, to my husband. It's the only card we ever do.
Yeah.
So Valentine's Day morning, when she gives me a card, I go, "What's this? It's a Valentine's Day card." I'm like, "We don't do Valentine's Day cards." "Oh, but I thought it'd be nice." "Oh, and I'm just supposed to know that?" So anyway, she's like, "Well, you need to get me a card." So I was like, "Oh, God." So I went into town, and I'm thinking, and then I'm in the shop looking around, and they were like, "Some ridiculous, like £5 for a card." I was
What
like, "I'm not paying
shop
£5
are you
for a card."
in?
Anyway,
Oh no, you go anywhere for Valentine's Day cards, and
then
they will
I
jack
find-
the price
Mine was
up.
99p.
oh no, even better. Then
Yours is
I found,
true love.
then I found the cheap section,
Yeah.
which
It's a
was
Pokemon card.
they were 39p these cards, but they were all for dudes, as in wives give to husband.
Yeah.
So it said.
Because I don't forget.
It said, "For my amazing husband." So I brought it, crossed out "for" and put "from." From my amazing husband. How genius is that? Saved money and got a pretty cool card. And it had cute foxes on the front.
Alright, to be fair, that's not bad. It's quite funny. Something I
Anyway,
would do.
let's
Just rolls with the ego.
let's dive into some indie game news.
Yay!
Right, not a massive week for indie game news this week, but yeah. First up, we got Shift Quantum. We all played Shift Quantum, didn't we, at EGX?
We did.
Yes, we did.
I was very tired, but I played it.
Yeah, it was like that.
I think it was our last game.
I think
It
we
was
were-
literally the last thing we did.
Walk
the
into the
last
exit, and then all of a sudden we were like, "Oh, let's give this a go." There was
I
no
was
one shut
actually
down.
against it.
Yes, yeah, you were like, I just want to go home.
I was knackered.
Yeah, you were dying.
Because we still had to film that last bit, didn't we?
Yeah,
we were
and,
like, oh, for God's sake.
If you watch our last EGX
it's
roundup,
the best one.
I'm basically a corpse that occasionally I'll poke and I'll be like, yeah, games.
If you watch, actually, if you watch, I finished my coffee halfway through that, yet still keep sipping it, and then realising there's no coffee in it. It's like,
I remember doing
it's empty.
Oh wait, that
Keep
was
sipping an empty cup. I was thinking, there, no.
we done.
My mind wasn't that fast. It just kept going. Oh, no coffee.
We done 2 days, 1 night. Then no, two days, 1 night. Rest is going to be a whole new ball game. We've got 3 days.
Yeah, but we don't have to travel to Birmingham.
That's true.
I am going to
stay
be
in Birmingham.
having a lot more caffeine when we're on rest.
Anyway,
I'm going to have coffee every 10 minutes.
Shift Quantum. It's got announced for a release window. It's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch as a simultaneous release.
Good, by the way.
In spring. But yeah, it's what they're describing it is as a cyber noir puzzle game.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's set in a cyberpunk-ish world where it's black and white, and then by switching the negatives of a level, you open up new pathways, don't you? It's fucking hard. I remember that much. I remember getting
hard move for you, Lewis.
I remember getting really stuck on. I'm normally pretty good at puzzles, but I couldn't. With Shift Quantum, you obviously
Beautiful, mate. Well done.
you have to move like cubes and blocks. Don't you? There's many move parts, but you have to have the mind to see that when I move that and I switch it, where that's going to land in the negative
Having
world.
in mind not Lewis's strong suit, so obviously there was a bit of struggle there. Me and Dan were like,
what did you think to it?
I thought it was alright.
Fun,
Yeah,
satisfying. When you do the puzzle, it is very satisfying. You're like,
yeah. There are those moments where you get it, or where you see the pattern, and you're like, okay, I'm getting this now.
It's that feeling I used to get when I first started playing Portal games. Is like when you figure something out, you're like, before you even put Portals down.
See,
you're like,
now Portal I thought was a really weird one because everyone came to me with Portal going, man, Portal's really hard, and I nailed it in seconds. And I was like, I don't get
really hard.
Loads of people were like, this is such a difficult game.
I think there's difficulty to it, definitely.
And I was like,
struggled
just blitzed
with
it.
The second one more than I did the first one. But I love this. I've played. I know it by heart.
I struggled with the second one because I played with my little brother and he's a dick. The amount of times he's like, "Go on, Dad, go down." Oh, I'm in the acid. He's like,
that game encourages you to be a dick as well.
Oh, it's just. And then he'd do like, "Let's high five," and it's like, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that." And then he wouldn't do it. Yeah, and you're like, "You shit."
Oh, good game.
But this was nice because it taught you as you went. So it had that really nice tutorial.
Yeah.
But it kind of lied to you as well.
Explain.
It did this really weird bit. I can't remember exactly what level it was, but where it would basically be saying that because you played with gravity as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because
so as you switched, it wasn't just black and white. There were these little arrows which would change gravity, and it would say that
of course,
if you switch, you can change gravity and move this way. But there were points where you'd switch and you'd expect gravity to change, and it wouldn't do it.
Right.
And it wouldn't do it because you then need to be standing on it, and it was teaching you this extra bit that the one before had kind of implied, but not.
It's fine. I don't remember that bit.
I mean, the levels we played, every level built upon the previous one, didn't it?
Yes.
It kind of extended on. What I'm interested to see, because they've released a story trailer, which is like a very much a cinematic trailer, no gameplay in it. I'm really interested to see how the individual level set pieces link into an overarching story and how that goes on. If all the gameplay is just done through puzzles, or if there are any,
I don't think we're going to hit a big story
platforming sections. I don't think it'll be a big story, but I'll be interested to see what approach
I
they
think
take.
we're looking at just a puzzle game. But I think it's a
there'll be
solid puzzle
I
game.
expect there'll be like a live.
Well,
you have to interpret the story sort of.
We'll definitely be. We'll be having a review for that, and it's from Fishing Cactus and Red Panda Interactive are publishing it. Shift Quantum is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch sometime in spring is all we know. So that's any time up to the end of April, middle of May. Past Cure, as I said earlier, I played this Past Cure. Past Cure got a demo. I didn't even know this was coming. I just went on Twitter in the morning. It's one of the first things I do while I'm waiting for the coffee to go through. I go on Twitter, reply to anyone that's contacted us. And I just saw retweet because the demo's now available, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go download that bad boy. Downloaded it, streamed it that afternoon. It's really good fun. Very, as I said earlier, reminiscent of Silent Hill. And it's coming out on the 23rd of February. Again, PS4, Xbox One, and
soon.
PC. Yeah, really soon.
Friday.
Friday, yeah, week today it releases. So we will be talking about it on next week's podcast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, none of us would have played it, surely. Well, you might have, but...
Yeah, well, you might have.
Oh, demo. I'll play a demo, but I won't.
I don't know, maybe. If we get codes through.
Oh, yeah, of course. I forgot, yeah.
Come on, benefits, mate.
Yep.
Perks of the job. Next up, Mulaka. Not Mulan, because I said this to my wife earlier. Or she saw the note. She was like, Mulan? I'm like, how does that even look like Mulan?
I can confirm it does not say Mulan.
It doesn't. Though your handwriting is pretty piss poor.
Yeah.
It's better than mine.
Yeah, no, that I will give you that as well, yeah.
Mulaka is a 3D action platforming game that's heavily influenced from Mexican lore. And I'm not even gonna try and butcher the name. There's a tribe of people, the Tamananara. There's a feature
when he
on
said I wasn't going to try and butcher the name.
Yeah, he just did, yeah.
Did it, yeah.
I did.
This is
Sliced it right up.
But there's a feature on the website that actually speaks more about it. But it takes a lot of heavy influence from northern Mexican mythological lore, and the game looks really nice, I think.
Yeah, it does. Sorry, I was thinking about where you're talking about geologically.
Oh, okay.
North Mexico.
Do you remember Mulaka?
No. I don't at all.
I looked it up before. I remember it.
Visually,
Did I
remember
play it?
No,
think so,
none of
no.
us played it yet.
No.
I don't remember seeing
We definitely
it either.
saw it. 'Cause I've seen the trailer.
It was a bit. It featured big, and you know when Switch had their first big bunch of Nindies. It was
Yeah.
Here's 16 Nindies coming over the next year. It was one of the main feature titles from that. And we even done a podcast where we spoke about the Nindies podcast.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant,
yeah.
man. Well done.
Dan was blitzed.
Yeah.
I spent most of my life blitzed. That's how I live.
To me, it looks like a 3D art style wise. Looks like a 3D Guacamelee. Do you remember Guacamelee?
Yeah. I'm
kind of.
trying to see if I agree with you. I'm thinking from my brain. I was like,
Maybe I'm thinking because they're both Mexican references or what, but.
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, no. What's funny with Mulaka
It looks
is
great.
I have no idea why, and I have emailed the publishers and developers Lienzo to try and get an answer on this. I haven't had a reply. It's releasing in a weird kind of fractured release week. You got on the 27th, it's coming to PS4 and Steam. On the 1st of March, it's coming to Nintendo Switch, and on the 2nd of March, it's coming to Xbox One.
It's a funny schedule.
Yeah. 27th of February, PS4 and Steam.
Right.
1st of March, Nintendo Switch. 2nd of March, Xbox One. So basically, I can't imagine this game being massive. PS4 players are going to pretty much finish it by the time, or have the potential to finish it by the time Xbox players get the game. I don't know.
I don't. They're, like bidding for it.
I mean,
No.
It's like they've made the deals completely separately, and it's just how it's ended up.
Yeah,
happening.
it's just a very bizarre.
it must be something to do with clearance, as in. No, that doesn't make sense.
I would
either.
imagine
don't get
Xbox people would be hot on it as well. I would have thought they would be like one of the first people to
I
get
can understand if it was a couple of months, because maybe, like you said, PlayStation said, well, we want it here for a month.
Yeah,
That's how it's all
But
ended up.
days are literally, it's the week. So I don't know what it is. But anyway, that's the case of
I mean,
it.
the difference between Switch and Xbox can be purely about how they update the store.
Yeah.
When they like to have new
Yeah,
releases out.
Switch mostly have their games going on a Thursday. PlayStation mostly have their games going on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Xbox, from what I've done, my experience doing the weekly release videos, can be any time.
day,
Like,
yeah.
literally,
Whenever they
Xbox.
want.
Xbox do it whenever.
But then again, Xbox, a lot of their releases sync up with the PC, like Microsoft
Yeah.
releases. So that's why they have weird ones. And we've only got one bit of news left.
I'm going to add a bit to that, actually.
Okay.
After that, but you do that one
Okay.
first.
I'm looking forward to this. Deep Rock Galactic. Have you had a chance to check the trailer out yet?
Nope.
No.
I've been doing all sorts
right.
of other shit.
Deep Rock.
No, so didn't even ask me.
Did ask you.
The only reason I didn't
trailer.
ask you is
Yeah.
because after E3, Dan and I spoke about this game because he was like, "This game looks amazing," and now I can't remember what
I
it is.
can't remember it.
Deep Rock. Have you seen the trailer?
I literally have no idea.
Deep
what
Rock
this game is at
Galactic is so it mixes Left 4 Dead,
all. I'm in.
with
No, I'm not, 'cause
Minecraft.
That could be bad.
and you play as a group of up to 4 dwarfs.
Dwarves, yeah.
You have to mine down into a planet and gather resources while clearing out hordes of these spider creature things.
For some reason, I thought you were saying it was like a Left 4 Dead, but with like a cube base.
No. In terms of gathering resources.
Yeah,
Not-
no, that sounds cool.
And it's entering early access and Xbox Game Preview on the same date of the 28th of February. We're going to have a couple of Xbox Game Preview codes thrown over to us. So we're going to be trying out an Xbox Game Preview. If you
I have vague memories of it, as in I recognised like
The concept.
The
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah.
Can't remember a bloody thing on it.
It looks really cool. The trailers are playing up there now. It's very much a It's very much it's very much a team-based, like I said, dwarf game. It looks humorous.
It's blue. We don't see a fucking thing.
It's classic. It takes the piss out of not take the piss, but it takes the piss out of itself for you playing as a group of dwarfs. It's got all the stereotypes.
It's very tongue-in-cheek then.
Yeah.
I think the problem is there's been a board game coming out by Dark Hand Studios about dwarves who go down into a maze and you beat the shit out of each other and these other things. And I think they've merged together into one brain fart for me. And I've just gone, numbing it.
Gone and down. What's the last bit of news?
Okay, so the last bit of news I want to add is a postpone to a game that will be coming out in Q2, which is called Bear With Me, which is a noir point-and-click adventure.
I've played it.
No, you haven't, because it's not out on the things
It's
until
on
Q2.
Episode 1 and 2.
Utomic, that's PC.
I
think
see.
you'll find
Sorry.
we're Indie Credible.
I was confused
a console indie gaming company.
Sorry. I was confused
Remember
then.
your own fucking
I thought
company
you meant-
for a moment.
Come on, guys.
Jesus,
Come
Sorry.
on.
I thought you meant it's not out at all. I was like, what?
No,
cool.
we work on consoles.
Cool. Yes. Mostly, yeah,
Jesus,
go for it.
mother Christ.
Go for it. Bear with me.
Bear With Me, which is a point-and-click noir.
Episodic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks fucking awesome.
It is good. I've played episodes 1 and 2. It's very good. It's impactful. It's emotional. It's fucking hard in terms of classic 90s point-and-click adventures where you think, okay, how wouldn't I do this puzzle? And that's normally the answer to how you would do the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's all set inside a child's imagination. It's about her imaginary friends and her teddy bears and that lot that walk around. And the bear in question is a private detective. And he's awesome. The voice
Suddenly
acting in
I'm
it is
sold.
brilliant.
Yeah.
The voice acting is
I can
brilliant.
get some codes for this because, like I said, they constantly mess me about it. But I'm like, I've played the game because it's on Utomic, and I like the look of it straight away. So
There's some code so we can talk about it on console, which is what Indie Credible does.
Is it this summer?
It's Q2, so it's going to be spring.
Episode
or
1
end
and
of spring.
episode 1 and 2 are now. I think a reason I think it's been pushed back on console is I think the console, it's only 3 episodes. I think the console releasing it as a game.
Whole lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Whereas
fair
PC, the episode 1 released summer last year. Episode 2 was a winter last year. Episode 3 is coming out, I think, the same time as that.
That's that one's
And that'll be a whole. There's all 3 of you on console. So yeah, no, good addition.
I don't remember the console game.
Good addition. Oh, I know. Anyway,
We're not like these other losers out there who sit on Steam going through Greenlight and going, look at we do
will be
indie
one
games.
day.
No,
Greenlight's gone. It's going.
thank fuck.
Has it gone net yet? Or
Not
have they
yet,
been
no.
hearing about it for ages?
No, it's going.
What is next?
Anyway, that's it. Well, so that wraps up
That's
the
it.
news. So yeah, as I said,
whole podcast.
now the
And we're done. Fuck it, I'm out of here.
as I said, so anyway,
What the fuck is this?
you put batteries in
It
them, and then
moves.
if you clap
Oh
near
my
him,
God.
He
you
slides around on his arse.
yeah.
and-
You need it on a hard
Does
surface.
he talk?
No, it doesn't talk.
Did you ever think about how Furbies and Gremlins are like the same?
Yeah, it used to scare the shit out of me.
There is a Furby is a gremlin when it got wet.
It's just not true, is it? It's just nonsense. Talking nonsense.
Anyway, so if
have a
you
serious
if
conversation.
you do support us on Patreon for $1, then you won't have any ads.
Then
You won't
I'm sorry. We apologise.
I'm not.
you won't get an ad.
You get what you pay for, you dickhead.
Dickheads, there are 2 now.
Sorry, Trevor, I'm so sorry.
As I say again, if you do support us on Patreon for $1, you won't get any ads now. You'll go straight into the interview. As I said, it's available video, so if you are watching video, then you can actually watch myself and Kevin having a chat. If you listen to audio, then you'll just obviously get the audio part to the interview. The interview is about 20 minutes long. It's well worth listening to. It gives you a bit more of an idea with the Station, but with Station being, as we said earlier, a short, story-driven game, we had to be very careful on what we said because we don't want to give away anything about the story. So there's lots more around the design of things, their influences, what inspired them to make a game like that, and the company itself.
Plus, also, Kev is so cool.
So hot.
I never said he was hot.
He's dreamy, Kev is.
Oh my
Oh, Kev. Kev.
You do know he's probably going to be watching or listening to this.
Yeah, good. All right,
Good.
Kev. Can you send us a picture?
Dickheads.
Well, send Lewis a bit. He's
But
been
you'll
asking
see it.
us.
It's on the video.
No, I want him to send us a picture.
Anyway, so
Point Break Star.
hope you
know what I
enjoy
mean.
the interview with Kevin Harwood from who is
Oh, it's
creating.
Kevin Harwood now. He's dropped the Kev.
It's no
got
Kev
too
now.
personal. I'm sorry he's a ban you so quickly, Kev. You know.
It's all right. Me and Tom are here for you.
Yeah, we're
man.
here for you.
Anyway, this is creative lead Kevin Harwood from the upcoming game The Station, coming to Xbox One, PS4 and PC on the 20th of February. Enjoy the interview, and until next week, guys, goodbye. Good stuff. What's up, guys, and thanks for joining us at Indie Credible as we are chatting to Kevin Harwood. Kevin Harwood had a hand in the game, or an upcoming game called The Station. It is coming to PS4, PC, Xbox One on the 20th of February. Our review will be up around about the release date, but it's a really, really fun game. We're going to sit down and chat to Kevin now about, like I said, his hand in the game and the influences the game took from other parts of culture or pop culture or other video games. So, as I said, it's Kevin. Kevin, can you let us know what you do or what your hand was in creating The Station?
Yeah, so my main role was creative direction. I led all the art, the sound, how the story blended together, but then I took a large role in the creative production and the project management.
Oh, sweet. So, basically, everything I loved about the game is down to you. So
yeah, it was the story was absolutely my baby.
Okay, so I'll let people know that I have played the game. I've had the pleasure of playing through the game. This interview won't go into any spoilers at all, but it will hopefully perk interest into just how great of a story game this is, which kind of goes into the first question. That so I mentioned earlier off air that I'm not a fan of the word or the term walking sim. I think it's derogatory towards a bloody brilliant genre of games. I like narrative adventure. Was it always your aim to have that direction to tell the story told in Station, or did the development process start off with a different concept and it kind of evolve into this?
Yeah, so it's funny. I've always started with the belief that story is king. I believe that you have to start around the pillar of what story are you trying to tell. I've worked on so many projects where they come up with a really cool game mechanic, and then they're focused on how do we explore the game mechanic, and then we'll just patch a story in there. Whereas we started in reverse. We said, how do we tell and how do we come up with a beautiful story with rich characters, with a really deep lore, and then what kind of mechanics are needed to tell that story? So, yes. I absolutely hear the criticism of, oh, it's a walking simulator. There's many games out there that I feel are maybe have a deficit of features, maybe have a deficit of interactivity, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's depending on what kind of mood you're in. I play a lot of games like Civilization and Stellaris, and when I want a game that's like the game, that's tons of fun. When I want to jump around with a bunch of guys and play PUBG, it's having the variety. So I love the fact that the narrative exploration genre allows for a more casual kind of game environment. I usually have 4 or 5 people over, and we just casually go through stories together, and I find it to be one of the most enjoyable gaming experiences I have. But to answer your question, no, when we came up with the story, we really had no idea the scale and scope of what kind of mechanics we wanted to have. We actually put together a game design document, and it's around 100 pages, and it's something that we're actually going to be releasing at launch on Steam.
Oh, wow.
And we wanted to showcase, here's all the decisions we made based on what we were trying to do. We start with story, and then the mechanics, the design, all of these mechanics are brought together based around what's going to tell the best story.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Well, yeah. It is, and I'm going to reiterate, it is a very, very good story. And what I loved about the Station, as well as the story, was the environment, which is obviously down to you as well, being creative director on it. The environment the Station created. The last time I felt that the eeriness was, have you played Gone Home by Fulbright?
Absolutely.
So the moment you open the Green Bearers, or you go to the Green Bearer house, you don't know, is this a horror game? Is this a thriller? What game is this? And I had exact same with the Station. When I was like, okay, is this a horror game? What am I going to expect? Should I be waiting to play this in the daytime, or do I carry on playing this at 10 o'clock at night in a dark room? Because this is getting eerie now. And again, was the kind of element of, I use the word horror loosely, but is the element of horror, that suspensefulness, that eeriness, again, was that something from the beginning, or was that something that drip fed in as you kind of got closer to the end? You thought, actually, we're onto something here with this atmosphere. Do we emphasise it even more?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've played probably every kind of suspense adventure thriller game out there, and the problem I've consistently had with them is the tone, the atmosphere is incredible. Like the kind of stuff that people can come up with in game design now is fantastic, but you have to look at the consequences of every kind of design. Anytime I'm in a story that is so atmospheric and so thrilling, I struggle to actually pick up on the story. I struggle to remember what is actually happening. What am I trying to do? I can't process facts. I can't process everything I'm doing because I am so sensory focused. So with the station, we really tried to iterate based on are players actually absorbing the story? Because if you just pick up this game and you can't properly absorb the story because you're distracted, because you're nervous, because you're anxious, we've really actually not done a very good job with the product itself. So we really tried to make sure that we were going far enough into the atmosphere development that we weren't pushing players away from absorbing the characters, absorbing the story, and really trying to solve the mystery itself.
Nice. Awesome. And that was the combination of the story and the atmosphere that you built in the station has put it that it's just an incredible experience. And I use the word experience not in a demeaning way at all, in a way that it was one of the best experiences I've had for a while, of just finishing the game, putting the controller down and just taking a moment just to be like it was like watching like a tense movie. That kind of Don't Breathe. I don't know if you watched Don't Breathe last year. I remember watching Don't Breathe in a cinema on my own and just almost struggling to breathe playing it, and that's exactly the same as the station. Now, I have a sneaky suspicion here, and this is me preempting the future, that when the game is released and the reviews are out in the wild, and gamers can get their hands on the station, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to Fulbright's Tacoma from last year, which is hands down one of my favourite games to release last year. And Fulbright do a great job of that real intricate storytelling through things you can find in the environment, the kind of building the characters through notes, through little messages left around, which I noticed quite a few times in the station, more in a banterous way, which I enjoyed. It was Tacoma, a game that you looked at, because obviously it released last year, obviously the station would have been in development, but was it a game you looked at and maybe thought, oh, I like the way they've done this, maybe I didn't like the way they've done this? Was Tacoma one of those games, or was there any other game that you looked at for the inspiration to go forward with the station?
Great question. So the station's actually been done since about June. We are actually working on doing all our ports. Yeah, this is our first title as a studio together.
Yep.
We're still unnamed, and we want to focus on the title rather than the studio. But
yep.
the main issue was we saw Tacoma come out, and we were actually scheduled to release about 4 days around their release date.
Oh,
and
really?
So yeah, it's a very small community of people. So we just basically said, we absolutely are excited about what they're doing, and it was a fantastic title. So we just delayed and said, you know what, let's release later. We changed around, and instead of just releasing our PC version first and then staggering out the consoles, which we were going to do in the first place, we just said, let's do a simultaneous release on all of our systems at the same time, and we'll bump off and find a good release window. So again, we've been ready to launch for the last 6 months, which sounds ridiculous, but we were, you never release an indie game in the fall. It's a slaughter with AAA titles. I don't know if you leave any original IP in the fall nowadays. Exactly. So we all played Gone Home, we all played Tacoma. We all really enjoyed it. Lots of awesome comparisons, but yeah, to be honest, there was actually no referencing we could do because the game was done and it was sitting on the shelf. So yeah, great experience. Nice. So that explained why, because when I got my review copy through, I was gobsmacked. I was like, whoa, this game's not out for a while yet, but that would explain it came through. And at first I was thinking, is this going to be a buggy build? Because we get sent so many builds. They're like, oh yeah, review this build, and it's so buggy that you can't review it because there's a patch. But no, it was a full-fledged game that I played through, and that would explain why it was so polished. The fact that it was finished back in June. And you've kind of answered my next question, which was based around the sound design. And the sound design I found in the station, for lack of a better term, it felt very Christopher Nolan to me, where less is more, where there's the long moments of silence, and then there was like a moaning from the hull or some creak somewhere, and it would make you turn around. There wouldn't be anything there. Was that, so you being creative director, was that something you had a direct hand in, or did you seek outside help for that? Was that something that you really wanted to focus on, I suppose, is the main point of my question, to really help with the atmosphere of the station? So this sounds like a really dumb answer, but I'm just going to say it. There's two parts to this. The first one is when you're designing, when you take a core mandate, when you go, here's the pillar on the wall, here's what we want to create. We want to create a story that's atmospheric, that's engaging, that's rich. You don't actually have to do much because you just throw it on the wall and go, okay, what is the actual project needing? It sort of tells you what it needs. If you had imagined we threw in like an actual soundtrack with orchestral music and so much stuff that was distracting you, it would have detracted from the game. So all you really have to do is constantly test, constantly iterate based on what you're seeing from the players. So when we first started, it was a very nuanced approach to sound. We said, the only thing that makes something meaningful is the change in, going from silence to intense to back to silence again. We wanted to, I don't necessarily like the idea of isolationism because I think it's an easy way for you to just put in less sound and then it's, it's just, it's minimalist. I really wanted to have a very diverse full spectrum audio. But I mean, the real answer is working with the sound lead. He's from the BioShock Infinite series. He was. Oh, really? He's got an incredible portfolio. I mean, if you're in America and you're making a AAA game, you've probably worked with him. So the community is really small. The best talent in the world now is, really, everyone knows each other. So Duncan, who led our audio, he just did an incredible job. And I mean, when you put it in the hands of a professional, that's what you get. Yeah, no, it did, and it played into the. As I said in the first question, played into the story and the atmosphere that built up so well. It was genuinely amazing. The next one's more of a bit of a personal, selfish question because it's saying that I would like to see. Now, the station, as I've banged on about the atmosphere it builds up, and it's just a genuinely interesting environment. Every room that I went into, or every room you go into, felt like someone would have been there, felt like there was something to do in there. I would love to experience the game in VR. Is there any plans to bring it across to virtual reality, or is that a no-go? So I think I can now say this. Yes, we have plans for VR. We are already working on the Vive, the Oculus, and the PSVR. Yep. So we are already working on that. It was from the very beginning. So I've got an Oculus Rift on my desk that I have to always keep out of view of my interviews because, we weren't exactly sure as to the framework. We weren't exactly sure what it, if it was totally possible. The main reason, and this is not a huge giveaway, but you'll notice there's only one loading screen in the entire game. Yep. You do not have to load each time into each room. We wanted to make it a very linear experience because we wanted to make it immersive, and that's the real goal. And so that the goal of immersion mandated that the technology allowed for a completely linear gameplay experience. So no matter how big the map was, we made it work in one load. So the problem with that, as you can imagine, is on VR, it's a very different technology, and it requires double the, it's 2 camera processing, so it's just so much more resource usage. So we've had to do a couple changes to make it work, and we've done a lot of tests, and we're pretty confident that the VR experience is going to be a lot of fun. Awesome. And so, I don't know if you know the answer to this one then. If people buy the station on PC or PS4, Xbox when it releases, do they get a free PS... Or do they get a free VR update, or is it going to be a bolt-on price afterwards? Do you know the answer to that? That's actually, it's funny. That's actually very much out of the game development team's control. So. Because, whenever you release a product, it actually is a separate, entity in itself. So, we'll see what we can do because we're just really excited about people checking it out. But, we'll have to talk with Sony and Steam about it. I'm going to say now, I cannot wait to play that game in VR. There's not many games I look forward to playing in VR. But that's just one. I'm a massive sci-fi fan, and like I said, I keep banging on. The atmosphere you built up, and the space station itself is just so much. It's going to be. I genuinely think, even playing through the game already, it's going to be a pretty terrifying experience in VR. I can only imagine that. Which kind of goes on to my last question. So it's coming to PS4, it's coming to PC, it's coming to Xbox. Is there any chance we're going to see this on Nintendo Switch in the future, or is it? That's a great question. The funniest thing is when we started development, we actually said, well, let's actually go the lower spectrum. So let's actually allow for like an iOS, Android version of this title. And as soon as we brought on our art director, and this guy is a wrecking machine, like he just makes incredible environments. So as soon as we started to see the level of fidelity he was creating, we said, no, absolutely not. It's not going on it's not going on a phone. But as we pushed forward, we started doing tests and looking at memory usage, looking at what kind of resources would be required. Yes, the short answer is we are looking at doing a Switch version. It's obviously it's a very new piece of technology.
Yeah.
It's much different than any of the other consoles that we've worked with before. So we are looking at it, and that's probably going to be in the horizon.
Oh, nice. Well, personally, although I love the game, I wouldn't play it on the Switch. I just think the small screen will take away the immersibility of the game. That's my personal opinion. But maybe with headphones on, you can completely change that. But no, yeah. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us, mate. And that is The Station is coming out on the 20th of February. PS4, Xbox One, PC. I can't go into too much detail about my review, but all I'm saying is I really enjoyed it. You can read more on my review close to release date. Is there anything else you wanted to say at all, Kevin, before we sign off?
No, I mean, I was just going to say something that I was doing consistently during the process was I would test it with people. I would get like 5 people onto a couch, all a bunch of friends, and we would just play through it together. I seriously recommend have a friend over, play through it casually, have a beer. That's the kind of experience we've tried to create. It's something that you're meant to, immerse yourself in. It's not so much. It's obviously not an action game. So I really recommend you experience it with someone.
Yeah, well, I've played it. Another guy who works for us has played it, and there's another guy who is not a fan of these games at all. He's nothing against them. He's just, he's not far from a competitive FPS player. He's a very big on that kind of scene. He's not the stuff that it feels slow to him. But we're going to sit down with him, make him play it, and then we're going to just have a couple of beers, and just because we want to see his reaction to it, because we honestly think he would like it. But no, like I said, Station 20th of February, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And Kev, thank you so much for chatting to us. We really, really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Lewis.
No worries, man. And cheers. So, thank you very much. And until next week, bye-bye. What's up? And thank you for
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Just keep it
cool.
rolling.
No.
Let's go.
What's up? And thank you for coming back after the interview. I hope you enjoyed chatting to Kevin Harwood. I hope you enjoyed hearing what he had to say on the game. You hear he's very passionate about what they've done, and he's very enthusiastic, lots of energy, which made my job easy asking him the questions. We want to make that a monthly feature. Every month, once a month, we speak to a different developer of an upcoming game that's coming out. It gives us insight into how they made these games. 2, it kind of helps us kind of get real good connections with these developers that inevitably or hopefully are going to be bringing us more games in the future. And 3, it gives you an insight into this game. When you do play it, you can think, oh, I know what they were talking about here now. I know what they were talking about here now. And we are here to bring light onto the indie game scene, because I think we're fair to say it is a not muddled scene, but there are so many games that are coming out every week.
I think it's also one of those scenes that isn't enough people out there shining a light on it. You're gonna get you get the ones who go, look, here's that Black Tiger or whatever the hell that piece of shit. Game
or you get the big ones. So like this week, Kingdom Come Deliverance come out, which some people are like, is that an indie game? Yes, it's an indie game. It was a Kickstarter game, but it is a massive game.
I had pre-roll ads on YouTube for it.
We couldn't cover that game because we got offered to review the game. I said to Tom, it's a 50-hour single-player story with side quests on top. As resourcefully, we could not do that justice. Like, our review would be out so late on. And the codes only got given to people on the Friday before the release. So there was no way we could cover that game properly. So those games don't need coverage. It's these smaller games like The Station, like these kind of games that could easily get lost on the PSN store that we want to bring light to, and that's where these interviews will help, and that's where you guys can come in. You can support us for free. Literally, it doesn't cost you a penny.
No, you can't. Give us money. Don't listen to him.
You can support us free.
You can support us by going to Patreon and giving us cash.
You could.
That's actual support.
You could.
Supporting us for free is just watching.
Well,
no.
Reviews.
No, support for free. Review on if you give us a comment. You give us a comment or review on iTunes or any other platform.
Share us with your friends.
iTunes,
that's support.
Share us with your friends. I'm a prostitute now.
What
is this?
Podcast platform service. Or if you share our YouTube videos or any of our videos, subscribe to them. Share them on Twitter, on Facebook, anywhere you want. That really, really helps us support and really helps us grow with it. And so and then like Dan
you
said,
have a special guest on. I think someone's knocking at the door.
Yeah, I'll put it in
Let's have a special guest.
And then, as Dan said, you can support us for money, and you can head over to Patreon
For money.
$1 does give you exclusive access to pre and post show content, and $3 gives you. Or $3 gives you access to videos that release throughout the month, including Not So Indie Show, which we're going to record now, and the What We Loved About show, which is a recap of what we loved about the month. Yeah, so until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Support us if you can, and goodbye.